Good evening, Brandon Axmet with you here on News Channel Nebraska as your news rolls on this Saturday night. Coming up this hour, more COVID-19 tests have been confirmed at a meat processing plant in northeast Nebraska. And the Department of Health and Human Services is reporting more than 100 new COVID-19 cases today. We have the latest. These stories and more on the way, but first, your forecast. In our top story this hour, several workers at a Tyson food facility in Madison have tested positive for COVID-19. NCN's Matthew Walsh has more.
The novel coronavirus has spread to a meat processing plant in Madison County. During an interview with News Channel Nebraska on Friday, Group President for Tyson Fresh Meats, Steve Stouffer, says there are positive cases at the Tyson Foods facility in Madison.
Yes, we have a couple of, we've got some here in Madison, and what we're focusing on is to make sure that we aren't creating a community spread inside the plant.
No specific number of cases at the plant has been confirmed by the Elkhorn-Logan Valley Public Health Department. The health department wouldn't confirm reports of the cases, saying it's up to Tyson to release more details on the cases detected in the facility.
In a business setting, then the business knows the people that were around them, and so then it doesn't become a public exposure, and it becomes the responsibility of the employer to keep the employees safe. And so it becomes on the business to make those announcements.
Tyson has closed its Columbus Junction, Iowa meat packing facility. Stouffer did not indicate that there are plans to close the facility in Madison.
If it ever becomes unsafe for our employees, that's a no-brainer. That's really the thing that I focus on the most. Are we creating the problem?
Meatpacking plants across the country have been under scrutiny after more than 200 workers at the Smithfield pork plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, fell ill with COVID-19. That plant closed for 2 weeks after pressure from government. As of Saturday morning, the health department is reporting 8 positive cases and 2 deaths from COVID-19 in Madison County. In Norfolk, I'm Matthew Walsh, News Channel Nebraska.
Thank you, Matthew, for that report. Well, Nebraska has seen its number of confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus now surpass 1,200. The State Department of Health and Human Services reported Saturday evening that there are now 1,287 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nebraska, as well as 28 deaths. Now, the biggest hotspot is Hall County in central Nebraska, home to Grand Island, and the 4th most populous county in the state. Now, the county cases jumped up from 293 to 395 on Saturday after updated numbers were reported. In comparison, the state's most populous county, Douglas, jumped up just 6 cases to 273 during that same time. And the first COVID-19 related death is being reported in Adams County. The South Heartland District Health Department out of Hastings has announced that a woman in her 80s who did have underlying health conditions has died. Adams County has 85 lab-confirmed cases as of Saturday evening, the 3rd highest total in the state. The South Heartland District Health Department serves the counties of Adams, Clay, Nuckolls, and Webster. And the Central District Health Department in Grand Island is now reporting 2 new COVID-19 related deaths. Now, this according to a press release sent out this evening. A man in his 70s died on Thursday at a Hall County hospital, and a man in his 80s died today in a long-term care facility. The 2 deaths bring the Central District's total to 8, and as of 2 p.m. on Saturday, the district, which serves Hall, Hamilton, Merrick, and other counties as well, reports 491 lab-confirmed cases, an increase over 66 over the previous 24 hours. And the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department is reporting 10 new COVID-19 cases in the capital city. Now, today's announcement brings Lincoln's total to 73. 5 of the new cases are being investigated at a home where they all live together, and those include 2 children, a man in his 20s, and a man and woman in their 60s. Now, the other 5 cases are a woman in her 20s, a woman in her 50s, and 3 men, 1 in his 30s and 2 in their 40s. The total of community-acquired cases in Lincoln is now 45, as the local health department is monitoring 64 individuals, and they have reported 1 death during the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Governor Ricketts is expanding a program to provide housing accommodations for those required to isolate due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The program is known as the Nebraska Accommodation Project and is a joint collaboration between the Department of Health and Human Services, the University of Nebraska, and the Nebraska National Guard. The program for the general public will be rolled out in Omaha with other locations to follow. Dormitories at the UNO campus will be utilized as well as those at UNK and UNL. Well, Governor Pete Ricketts says he may take a regional approach to lifting social distancing restrictions in Nebraska, similar to the way that he tightened the rules to fight the coronavirus. Now, Ricketts says he'll follow a phased-in, one-step-at-a-time approach to avoid another flare-up of the virus. Nebraska's statewide social distancing mandates are in place until at least April 30th. His comments came after a meeting on Thursday between U.S. governors and the White House and the Trump administration's rollout of recommendations to reopen the country. And the Nebraska National Guard set up camp in Norfolk to help conduct COVID-19 tests. The Nebraska Army National Guard, along with law enforcement and local health department officials, held the testing this morning. Now, the tests were not open to the public and only available to first responders and healthcare providers or those involved in essential infrastructure. Around 100 tests were conducted, but Melanie Thompson with the Elkhorn-Logan Valley Public Health Department says these tests only provide a snapshot into who's positive at the moment. Health officials say the results will be available in about 36 hours. And 9 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in Dakota County on Saturday. The Dakota County Health Department announced that the new cases involve an individual under 21, 6 individuals between 21 and 59, and 2 individuals over 60. Dakota County now has 34 confirmed cases of COVID-19 as of Saturday afternoon. And a multi-billion-dollar relief program from the USDA will assist farmers, ranchers, and consumers in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. President Trump and Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue announced the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program during a press conference on Friday.
Today I'm also announcing that Secretary Perdue, who happens to be right next to me, handsome man, and the Department of Agriculture will be implementing a $19 billion relief program for our great farmers and ranchers as they cope with the fallout of the global pandemic. Very honored to be doing this. The program will include direct payments to farmers as well as mass purchases of dairy, meat, and agricultural produce to get that food to the people in need.
Now the program will provide $16 billion in direct support to farmers and ranchers based on actual losses for agricultural producers where prices and market supply chains have been impacted. The USDA will also partner with regional and local distributors to purchase $3 billion in fresh produce, dairy, and meat. The distributors and wholesalers will then provide a pre-approved box of fresh produce, dairy, and meat products to food banks and other nonprofits serving Americans in need. And a Norfolk apartment is damaged after a fire this afternoon. Fire officials were sent to the Kensington Apartments in downtown Norfolk around 3:20 on Saturday. There were reports of smoke coming out of one of the upper-level apartments. There were no reports of any injuries and no word as to the extent of the damage done. Norfolk Fire had cleared up the scene a little after 4 p.m. And it was a perfect weather day for a spring game Saturday, which of course didn't happen due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. Now this picture from the Nebraska State Patrol shows the I-80 and the I-180 exchange that's normally backed up after any Husker Saturday. The patrol said on Facebook for the 2020 virtual spring game, there's virtually no backups.